참석해 주신 여러분들께 깊은 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 동아시아연구원은 지난 2008년부터 매년 한미동맹컨퍼런스를 개최해왔습니다. 5번째를 맞이하는 이번 컨퍼런스에서는 A New Security Order in East Asia and the ROK-U.S. Alliance라는 주제 아래 미국, 중국, 일본, 인도, 대만의 전문가들이 국내 전문가들과 함께 동아시아의 새로운 안보 질서와 주변국의 전략에 대한 분석을 토대로 한미동맹의 미래비전에 대한 논의를 진행하게 됩니다. 그럼 환영사 및 기조연설과 함께 오늘의 컨퍼런스를 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 환영사를 맡아주실 하영선 교수님을 소개해드리겠습니다. 하영선 교수님께서는 서울대학교 정치외교학부 교수로 재직 중이시며 동아시아연구원 지구내 21회 회장 및 국가안보 패널의 위원장을 맡고 계십니다. 하영선 교수님을 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
오늘 동아시아연구원의 한미동맹컨퍼런스를 참석해 주셔서 와주신 김성한 외교통상부장, 이용구 동아시아연구원 이사장, 그리고 김진영 위원장들을 비롯한 귀빈 여러분들께 감사드립니다. 미국의 상대적 쇠퇴와 중국의 상대적 부상에 따른 신동아시아 질서와 한미동맹의 미래에 관한 글과 국내 회의가 보초에서 폭포처럼 쏟아지고 있습니다. 평소 외화 내빈의 국제회의 대신 내실 있는 담론 생산을 목표로 하고 있는 동아시아연구원이 새삼스럽게 동아시아의 새로운 안보 질서와 한미동맹에 관한 국제 전문가 회의를 개최하게 된 데는 두 가지 특별한 이유가 있습니다. 첫째로는 새롭게 등장하고 있는 미중 주도의 동아시아 질서를 제대로 보고 전망할 수 있는 새로운 틀을 마련하기 위한 것입니다. 현재 국내외의 주류 논의는 공격적 안보를 전제로 한 비관론과 경제적 상호 의존을 기반으로 한 낙관론이 좁은 시야에서 진행되고 있습니다. 그러나 격동의 역사적 현실은 항상 기존의 좁은 시야를 넘어서서 앞으로 나아가는 모습을 우리는 역사 속에서 보아왔습니다. 21세기 미중 관계도 기존의 갈등과 협력이라는 소박한 시야를 넘어서서 훨씬 복합화된 변화를 겪기 시작하고 있습니다. 21세기 공동 주연으로 등장하고 있는 미국과 중국이라는 제국은 한편으로는 각자 부딪히고 있는 국내적 난제를 풀면서 동시에 동아시아 무대의 다른 주인공들과 함께 당면한 국제 문제를 풀기 위해 새로운 복합 네트워크를 짜기 시작하고 있습니다. 세계 지식 질서를 대표할 만한 오늘 회의 국제 전문가들이 이 문제를 제대로 조명하기 위해서 다른 국제 회의와는 차별되는 새로운 논의를 시도하게 될 것입니다. 둘째로는 새롭게 짜여지는 동아시아 복합 질서 속에서 한미동맹은 어떤 방향으로 진화시켜 나갈 것인가의 숙제 풀기입니다. 동맹의 원래 뜻은 국가 간의 상대방의 안보를 위해 함께 돕겠다고 하는 공식 약속입니다. 20세기 냉전 시대의 이분법적 동맹과는 달리 21세기 복합 시대의 동맹은 훨씬 복합화된 모습을 갖춰야 합니다. 한미일의 전통 네트워크를 심화하면서도 한중 네트워크를 최대한 확대해서 동아시아가 공동 진보할 수 있는 길이 무엇인가를 오늘 회의는 진지하게 논의하게 될 것입니다. 참석해 주신 내외 여러분들의 뜨거운 관심 속에서 활발하게 진행될 국제 전문가들의 오늘 논의는 21세기 동아시아가 당면 두 가지 커다란 숙제를 새로운 실마리를 제공한 국제회의로 올해 기록될 것으로 기대하면서 환영사를 마치겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 이어서 김성환 외교통상부 장관님께서 기조연설을 해주시겠습니다. 김성환 장관님께서는 제36대 외교통상부 장관으로 재직 중이시며 서울대학교에서 경제학을, 런던대학교에서 신학 동유럽학을 전공하셨습니다. 장관님께서는 외교통상부 북미국 국장, 기획관리실 실장, 비엔나 국제기구 대사, 외교통상부 제2차관, 대통령실 외교안보 수석 비서관, 오스트리아 및 우즈베키스탄 특명정권대사를 역임하셨습니다. 김성환 장관님을 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin by thanking the East Asia Institute for inviting me to the 5th ROK-US Alliance International Conference. As we reflect on the successful outcomes of the recent ROK-US Summit meeting, I believe it is an opportune time for us to give thought to the changes in the international order and Korea's diplomacy. The international order of the 21st century is undergoing rapid change. Above all, the so-called rise of the West, such as China and India, is ushering in multipolarity in the international order. Thus, we now live in an era of a complex order where power is found in many hands and in many places, as stated by Dr. Haas, President of the Council on Foreign Relations. The emergence of this complex order may mainly be attributed to two factors. One is the redistribution of power as developing countries have risen in status. And the other is the formation of global networks through globalization and the information revolution, which has brought the world closer together as one village and has greatly increased the interdependence between countries. As a result, the international community is no longer zero-sum in nature as it was during the Cold War era. This is reflected in various forms of multilateral governance regime coping with such transnational issues as economic crisis, terrorism, poverty, and climate change. The G20 summit is a good example, and the concerted efforts by the international community in addressing the European financial crisis is another. And in the process of addressing such transnational issues, the complex order of the 21st century will further gain pace. As the rise of China has greatly contributed to such a transition in the international order, China has set the promotion of peaceful development as one of its diplomatic strategies. It aims to build an overall Shokan society by 2020 and emphasizes that it is exerting diplomatic efforts to create a peaceful and stable international environment so as to concentrate on its domestic development. Even with the rise of Chinese influence, many experts expect that the US and China will by and large maintain the course of cooperative engagement. The reason is that the interests of the US and China are so deeply intertwined that there is considerable resilience in their relations. Furthermore, it is impossible to resolve global issues such as the stabilization of international finance or tackling climate change and terrorism without cooperation between the US and China. In the same vein, US State Secretary Hillary Clinton clearly underlined this when she stated in Hawaii prior to her visit to Asia last October that it is not in anyone's interest for the US and China to see each other as adversaries from a zero-sum perspective. This new security environment prompts Korea to embrace a proactive diplomatic strategy. That is why we seek to develop the traditional ROK-US alliance into a multi-dimensional alliance while deepening the strategic cooperative partnership with China. This is based on our belief that our multi-dimensional alliance with the US and strategic cooperative partnership with China can both thrive. As for Korea's relations with the US, President Lee's recent state visit was an excellent testimony to the achievements in the ROK-US alliance, which is believed to be at their best level ever and laid a pivotal cornerstone for the multi-dimensional strategic alliance. The US Congress approved the KORUS FTA during President Lee's state visit, and President Obama offered exceptional protocol and warm hospitality as demonstrated by the private dinner for President Lee and the joint visit to Detroit. Another notable event was the situation briefing on North Korea that President Lee received at the Pentagon with the Secretary of Defense, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and heads of each branch of the military in attendance. As has been the case so far, the ROK-US alliance continues to serve as a vital pillar to deter North Korea and to lay a foundation for unification. With the adoption of the joint vision for the ROK-US alliance in June 2009, both countries have proactively responded to the changing security environment in Northeast Asia. The two countries have diligently taken actions for a new military command structure by adjusting the date of the transfer of wartime operational control to December 2015 and adopting the Strategic Alliance 2015. The first ROK-US Foreign and Defense Ministers meeting, which was held in July 2010, affirmed the US full commitment to the security of the Republic of Korea and a strong joint defense posture. And both countries share the basic values of freedom, human rights, democracy, and the market economy, and work together for the development of those values. The ROK and US have been playing a leading role in promoting democracy in such forums as the Community of Democracies. Moreover, the ROK-US alliance shares strategic interests all over the world, and we are working together to address challenges at the national, regional, and global levels. Our two countries are working together in various places around the globe, such as Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, and Haiti. The US's full support for the hosting of next year's nuclear summit in Seoul also serves as a demonstration of the depth of the strategic cooperation between the two countries. And with the approval of the KORUS FTA in the US, both countries have added an economic alliance to the existing Korea-US alliance, thus successfully elevating this alliance to a multi-dimensional one. And with regard to China, Korea's diplomacy aims to develop Korea-China relations in harmony with the ROK-US alliance, because Korea-China relations are important not only for the achievements of peace, stability, and prosperity in Northeast Asia, but also for the unification of the Korean Peninsula. As such, the Lee Myung-bak administration has stepped up engagement in high-level meetings with China. Cooperation in the defense field is gaining momentum, as shown with the holding of the 8th Defense Ministerial Talks last July. In 2008, Korea and China upgraded their relations to a strategic cooperative partnership. Since then, the two countries have engaged in discussions and cooperation, not only on bilateral matters, but also on regional and international issues, working together to contribute to world peace and development. In particular, we have been able to engage in more open discussions on North Korean issues with China. This marks a stark departure from the past, when China had been reluctant to discuss such issues with my country. Next year, we will celebrate the 20th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties with China. Building upon the friendly relations that Korea and China have fostered, we will continually strive to further our strategic and cooperative partnership. Concerning the North Korean nuclear issue, North Korea has yet to implement agreement reached through the six-party talks. Rather, last November, North Korea revealed its uranium enrichment facility, which constitutes an alternate route to developing nuclear weapons. Regarding the nuclear issue, many years of experience with North Korea tells us that it is imperative to set the right conditions before resuming negotiations. On this point, there is no daylight between Seoul and Washington, and in this light, the Korea-US alliance is at the center of our efforts. As part of such efforts, 2 rounds of inter-Korean talks and 1 round of US DPRK talks already have been held. The second round of US DPRK talks are to be held in Geneva next week. Seoul and Washington will keep urging North Korea to demonstrate through specific actions that it has true intentions to abandon its nuclear programs. In the process, we are pursuing a comprehensive and fundamental solution based on the Grand Bargain Initiative, which encompasses irreversible denuclearization measures by North Korea for the complete dismantlement of its nuclear program and corresponding measures by the other 5 parties. At the same time, it is clear that unless the North Korean nuclear issue is completely resolved, it is impossible to establish true peace and stability in the region. As such, Beijing is actively making efforts to resolve the issue together with Seoul and Washington. And as Korea and China intimately engage in strategic communications on key security issues like the North Korean nuclear issue through exchanges of visits by high-level officials, our strategic partnership will grow deeper and deeper. In the current international landscape, non-government actors such as business, civil society, and individuals are assuming greater importance on the global stage. And the agenda is diversifying to encompass such issues as terrorism, environment, and climate change, among others. Accordingly, there is a need for fundamental change in how we conduct diplomacy. It is in this light that we envision a new diplomatic strategy for the 21st century as the US has introduced so-called QDDR. With this new strategy, we'll be able to expand our diplomatic horizons to go one step closer to realizing our vision of a global Korea. I would like to bring my remarks to a close by saying that networks are emerging as a key element in the diplomacy of the 21st century. Achieving the goal of a global Korea will also depend on how effectively we can build networks of cooperation with countries around the world. In this regard, I believe that this meeting is indeed of great value. I hope that the Korea-US Alliance International Conference will continue to play a valuable role in fostering deeper ties of friendship between the participants and more broadly in contributing to peace and stability in East Asia. Thank you for your attention.